Hey, welcome to the top end of Kensington Market. My name's Blake and I'm going to be your instructor for the CHL5101, Social and Behavioral Theory in Health. So this is something entirely new for me. I've never done this before, so don't let them tell you you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I've been around the school and the Social Behavioral Health Science Division before it existed. We're going to have fun with a new format and make the best of a challenging situation this term. So I'm leading off with this introduction to the course from the top of Augusta Avenue on Kensington Market, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the course and first of all, perhaps answer the question you must all be asking yourselves: why the heck am I out here in the first place? So if I can figure out how to flip the video here, which it seems like I cannot, what I want to do is ask you, what do you see going on here? What is this about? Is this about people's behavior, about masks and physical distancing, or compliance and resistance, or power relations, presentation of self, dynamics of class, race and gender, latent social conflict or social order? What do you find yourself judging? What do you find yourself liking? What stories are you telling yourself about what's going on here? So we're telling ourselves stories all the time. And the thing that's interesting about stories is that they offer all kinds of clues, mostly about who we are and what our point of view is, our social location, our socialization. Stories tell us probably more about ourselves and who we are and what assumptions we make about the world than they do about the people that the stories are ostensibly about. But of course, we also construct stories about others in ways that construe them in particular ways. And so, that's why it matters who writes the history books, right? Because it's who gets to tell the story about others as well as about themselves. So part of what we want to be doing here is actually unpacking some of those assumptions and what's going on around here. What stories are you telling yourself about what's going on here? And what assumptions are revealed in that? And because all theory really has assumptions built into them and rests on a whole bunch of assumptions that are often unarticulated. And so being able to unpack those helps us understand, the world around us and also how theory is constructed and what it's trying to say and what it omits. So those assumptions, about the world and what is knowable, they're fancy terms for those, like ontology and epistemology. We'll talk about more about that in class. But your own explicit and reflexive understanding of your own assumptions can also help you understand and navigate with intentionality your own relationship to theory, to what you feel drawn to and why. And so part of what we're going to be doing is looking at different aspects of everyday life and unpacking it. And the fact is, you already have some kind of relationship with theory. It might be a love relationship, it might be a relationship characterized more by fear or trepidation or resentment. But you have some kind of a theory, a relationship with theory already, implicit or explicit. And so we want to delve into that a little bit and unpack that and be curious about what's going on. And I predict that your relationship with theory is going to change through this course, hopefully for the better. But it kind of begs the question: what kind of relationship do you want to have with theory in your life and in your work? Because we use theory all the time to make sense of the world. And, it might not always have a capital T theory in it, but we're making up explanations and stories about everything that's around us all of the time. But you know, it's great fun to engage with the great thinkers of our time and previous times in our field. But this isn't a philosophy course primarily. We're in public health, and in public health we act in the world in order to try and make it a better place. And so it turns out theory is still very useful there, because many of the things we're trying to act on, what we sometimes call the determinants of health, are actually things that we can't necessarily see and point to in the way you can with a table or a chair. Things like power relations, race, class, gender are inferred from the patterning of social relations we see around us. And so we construct theories to help us try and understand those better. But, so theories can help us do that, and hopefully they can therefore help us design better interventions that are less naive about the world around us. But theories are fallible, and they're partial, and they're products of their time, and they're best used as heuristic devices rather than as statements of truth. So how to use theory reflexively, this too will be a key point of discussion in this course. So, welcome to an adventure in learning and discerning. I look forward to walking this path with you over the coming months, and stay tuned for the next part in this series.